Let's give our family some game today. Let's make it do what it do. I'm going to make sure if anybody asks me why are we sometimes late on the Ramonepreston show, I ain't going to blame none of y'all in there. I ain't going to blame none of y'all in there. I'm going to take all the blame. I take full responsibility. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. It's a beautiful Tuesday right here in the Buckhead community of Atlanta. And I'm super excited about today's show because we're going to be talking about accounting for entrepreneurs. That dreaded word, accounting for entrepreneurs. So here's what I need you to do. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. You're doing me, yourself, and our community a big favor when you like, when you share, and tag Lolly Dolly everybody. You ought to be tagging some people who you know needs to understand accounting, especially if they are entrepreneurs, business owners, breadwinners, the financiers of their family. While you're at it, please, if you would be so kind, put in the comments what city you're watching your boy from. What city, who you represent. Let me know who you represent. Put in the comments what city you're watching me from. Shout out to all of you that are already a part of our business community. I appreciate you so much. Those of you that subscribe to my YouTube page, you follow me on social media, thank you for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please take a few moments. Google might ask you to log in with your email, but they just want to verify that you're a real person and you ain't somebody trying to troll your boy. So please just take a few moments, subscribe to my YouTube page, follow me on other platforms. You can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all at Ramonepreston. At Ramonepreston. So welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. Just in case you don't know, now you know. My name is Ramonepreston. I'm the host of the Ramonepreston Show. And every Monday through Friday, even sometimes on the weekend, we show up here somewhere around 12 o'clock noon. It's supposed to be 12 o'clock noon, but sometimes it's a little after. But our goal is to show up here every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon, and share information with you that we know can help you do what we are experts at doing. And that is helping you start, structure, and scale your business. Maybe you have a ministry or just your income streams. That's what we do here at Ramonepreston Enterprises. We are a consulting company, we are a coaching company, and we're an educational training company. And we provide consulting, coaching, and training in the area of business, finance, even investing. So that's what we do. And the information that I share with you, it's real information. We use it, we live by it. Our clients and our students use it and live by it. And we have some extraordinary success stories, testimonies, praise reports, and we have extraordinary results, not just in our own lives, but in the lives of the people that we serve on a day-to-day basis. As a matter of fact, you could go to Google. Just go to Google and type in Ramonepreston or Ramonepreston Enterprises. My company is going to come up. You'll see some extraordinary people who have given reviews. If you do enough research and Googling, you're going to find out that I'm a legitimate business consultant and coach. I understand financial literacy. I live it. So the success of my life is one of the first proofs of concept. I'm not just on the internet talking about things that I don't live and I don't have proof to show that it actually works. But today, I want to talk to you about accounting for entrepreneurs. Accounting for entrepreneurs. This is one of the biggest areas of concern for so many people. Now that we're in this quote unquote inflated recession and this economic climate that we're currently in for 2022, it's a little volatile, it's a little shaky, people are uncertain, and they just don't necessarily know what their future looks like. But then there are those who are doing their best to go out every day in the marketplace, in the workforce, and make a living for themselves. And one of the biggest issues that you have, no matter what you do, whether you work a job, whether you are a 1099, or whether you own a business, one of the biggest issues you have, or you will have at some point, is your accounting, because your accounting has a lot to do with many things that I'll talk about today. But one important thing is your accounting has to do with taxes. And so now we just heard the news of the IRS hiring something like 80,000 new employees because of what they want to start leaning in towards with the PPP fraud and with audits and so forth and so on. And nobody's exempt from whatever it is that some of these institutional governmental agencies do. But what we can do is minimize, or at the very least mitigate any negative backlash and consequences if we have our books in order, if we understand at least the basics of accounting. And this is very important for you as an entrepreneur. So my hope and expectation is that you've listened to me enough, you've followed me enough, you've learned from me enough to know that you need a legitimate business system set up, whether it is a LLC or some other business system. We prefer LLC. It's one of the most common ways to start and structure a business because for the most part, when you have a tax person doing your taxes every year, they can treat that LLC as a disregarded entity. They could treat it as a partnership. They could treat it as a S Corp or C Corp or whatever they need to treat it as for tax purposes. So it's one of the most common entities that are formed. Again, I'm not an expert in the tax thing, but I know enough because I need to understand accounting for myself as an entrepreneur. So hopefully you've had that part taken care of. If you don't have that taken care of, I need to talk with you because we need to get your entity set up the right way, okay? So let's just assume for a moment that you got your entity, you got your holding company set up, you got your LLC articles of organization, you got your EIN number, you got your bank account, you got your operating agreement, and you're doing business. Now, one of the most important systems and processes that you need to have integrated into your business is your financial system. Most of the times, people who are small business owners, solopreneurs, they don't really think about their financial systems. And if they think about them, they don't do anything about them. And so we want to change that dynamic. I have made accounting as easy as I possibly can because, again, I'm not a Harvard grad, and I wasn't raised with a silver spoon in my mouth. The things that I know that have given me the success that I have are things that I've had to learn. It took me years to study. It took time and effort and energy and resources and money and a lot of trials and errors to figure out what actually works for the everyday entrepreneur like you and I. I'm just an everyday entrepreneur who wakes up every day, scrap, move, push, press, grind, and just hustle to try to make things work. And while I do that, I realize that there are certain things that work, certain things that don't work. And when I figure out what works, I share it with my community. So we want to talk about accounting for entrepreneurs. So here's where I want to start at. I teach about the 7 components of accounting. That's how I like to build my information around. I like to build it around the 7 components of accounting. And one of the reasons why is because I want to simplify it. I want to make it easier so you can always remember something when it's simple and when it's easy. So we're going to start there today. Let's talk about the components of accounting. Okay, so this is accounting for entrepreneurs. You got to at least be able to wrap your mind around the basic fundamentals of accounting because it's going to have a lot to do to determine how you proceed and succeed as an entrepreneur in your business. I mean, literally, it hurts my heart when I talk to entrepreneurs and they ain't even got a QuickBooks account. Or they got a QuickBooks account, but they don't even understand how to use it. Or they have it, they're using it, but they really don't know how to manage their income and expenses and track their income and expenses and use this for the correct measures and for the correct quantifiable results that they need. In other words, entrepreneurs typically just rip and run, make money, spend money. They don't keep money, they don't save money, they don't multiply money, and 30 years later, they realize that they ain't got no money, they don't have anything set aside, they haven't built a solid infrastructure, and now they waking up every day, going out, scrapping, trying to make enough money just to eat today. And I've seen this not just in business, but I've also seen it in ministry, because remember, I've been in ministry just as long as I've been an entrepreneur. Truth is, I've been in ministry longer than I've been an entrepreneur. So I have seen it with people in business, and I've seen this with people in ministry. And it hurts my heart when I see business owners or ministers and pastors and preachers who have ministries. They have served for 20, 30, sometimes 40 years, and they have nothing monetary to show for it because they did not understand the principles and the practices that we're talking about today. So I just want to give you my 7 components of accounting very quickly, and then we'll just talk about why accounting for you is important as an entrepreneur. Okay, I'm gonna give you my 7 components, which, by the way, this upcoming Saturday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., I'm hosting a free Millionaire Mastermind. Did I say for free? I'm hosting it for free. It is a free Millionaire Mastermind. And so what I'm going to be doing this Saturday for 4 hours is giving you a deep dive into some of the most important principles and practices for becoming a millionaire. Whether you just want to be a net worth millionaire or you want to make at least $1 million a year, the truth is, even if you don't want to be a millionaire and you don't need to make $1 million a year to be happy, to be comfortable, to be stable, you at least need to have that target so that when things happen, you can find yourself landing at a place to where you're comfortable, you're stable, you're solid, and you can be happy and be at peace. So our minimum is a millionaire. So I'm going to be teaching a lot of principles, a lot of practices. We're going to be talking about finances. We'll be talking about some of these components of accounting. I'll be talking about systems and processes. We'll be talking about holding companies. We'll be talking about how you properly position yourself in the marketplace. So just a FYI, you should join me this upcoming Saturday for this free 4-hour event so that you can start getting new data, new information that can help you move towards becoming a 6 and at some point a 7-figure earner. These principles and practices that I teach, I live. That's what got me to where I am. And I know it can happen for you because nobody gave me a handout. Nobody gave me the edge or the lift or the endorsement for me to become a millionaire mogul. I had to figure these things out over the course of the last at least 19 years since my wife and I have been full-time entrepreneurs. So I know it's proven. I know it works. I work it, and I've got other people who are working it. I've got clients who are 6-figure earners who will soon, but at least at some point, if not like within the next several months, soon at some point they will be blueprint millionaires. So just take me up on that offer. Even before I get to this, you could go to Ramonepreston.com/event. Ramonepreston.com/event. It's actually in my bio, depending on what platform you're on. But all you got to do is type in Ramonepreston.com/event. You'll see our Millionaire Mastermind. You can RSVP absolutely free, and you can join me and a host of other entrepreneurs who want to take their finances and their businesses to the next level. And I'm giving them my personal playbook. I'm giving them the blueprint. I'm giving them the game plan. I'm sharing with them millionaire principles and practices. So let's look at my 7 components of accounting that I teach on. All this information is in my training courses and my programs that I provide. All this information is in it. So the first component of accounting is financial planning. And again, this is accounting for entrepreneurs. Even though if you're not an entrepreneur, you can use these same components in your own personal financial life. But as an entrepreneur, you need to have these components working in your personal life, but you also need these components working in your business life or your professional life. The second component is income and expense tracking. The third component is taxes. Fourth component, banking. Fifth component, risk management. Sixth component, investing. And seventh component, retirement. So these are my 7 components of accounting. And again, if you're an entrepreneur, and my hope and expectation is that you are, or if you're just the breadwinner for your family, that means you may work a job, you may be an employee, but you're the financial leader of your household. These 7 components need to be integrated into your personal and your professional financial life. You cannot get around understanding these 7 components. That's why I teach them, and that's why I want to share them with you, especially now because it looks like we're in a recession. It looks like for small business owners and solopreneurs and those who are self-employed, a lot of people who fit into that criteria, like W-2 employees, middle class workers, people who are independent contractors, 1099s, self-employees, a lot of people who are in that category are getting hit the hardest. They're getting hit the hardest. I always explain that people who are in the poor class and people who are in the upper class, basically who make $400,000 or more a year, a part of that 1%, they're not hit as hard as the people who are in the middle. And that's most of America. That's like 8 out of 10 households in America are categorically middle class. And so if that's you, then you need to begin familiarizing yourself with at least these 7 components of accounting. And trust me when I tell you this, having an accountant, having a CPA, having a tax preparer, even if you have a bookkeeper in your business, none of those people and none of those positions and none of those things are going to remove the responsibility you have to take to understand these things. Because when you put that responsibility on accountants, on CPAs, on experts, on gurus, coaches, consultants, on bookkeepers and employees, let me tell you what happens. You find yourself in trouble financially. You find yourself in a mess financially. You find yourself lost financially. Your books are they're disrupted. Everything is in total chaos, and you start blaming all these people. Well, the accountant was supposed to tell me that. I hear this all the time. The CPA, I thought they were supposed to help me understand that. I thought they were supposed to show me what to do. No, that's not their job. Is not to run your company. Their job is not to necessarily run your accounting for your business as an entrepreneur. Their job is maybe to work with you or for you or to assist you, but you have to have some type of understanding, some type of leadership that you can guide people through the process of understanding what exactly you need or what you want and what you're intending to have. So this is a good starting point to familiarize yourself, okay? I'm giving you time to write it down. Hopefully you've written it down. And again, I'm gonna be talking about this, some of this on Saturday, and many other principles that are going to be millionaire principles, like just learning these 7 components of accounting and understanding how each component works for you as a financial leader of your house, W-2 employee, 1099, or a business owner. It's going to change how you move and how you operate financially. So let's look at this first component. The first component is financial planning. So when I say financial planning, I'm not talking about you going to Charles Schwab or Merrill Lynch and hiring a financial planner. That's a more sophisticated level of financial planning. When I say financial planning, I'm just talking about you having a grip on what your short-term and what your long-term financial goals should actually be. So for example, a short-term financial goal may very well be what you want to have or what you need to have between now and the end of this year. That would be considered a short-term financial goal. So that means you have to put a financial plan together. You got to do the math and quantify how much money do I want between now and the end of the year. But how much money do I need between now and the end of the year? I need to know what that dollar amount is, because there are two numbers. There's a number that you want, but then there's a number that you need. So for example, it's August. You can write down and start doing the math and say, I want to make $1 million this year. Okay, write it down, do the math, quantify it. See how much money that is every month you're going to have to make between now and December. But there's also another number that you need to do the math on. And that number is, how much money do I actually need? You might want to make $1 million this year. You might want to make $100,000 this year. But how much money do you need? So no, you're not going to just be focusing on the number that you need. That's your worst case scenario. But you at least need to know what that number is. So if you need $50,000 between now and December just to pay your basic bills, but you want $250,000 to be able to pay your bills and to have some extra money to build your business, at least you know what those two numbers are. And now you have a number that you can start planning, building this plan into what products and services you're going to sell. What vehicles are you going to get in to actually start making more money? Because maybe you work on a job, it's only so much money you're going to make on that job. So you might need to find a job that you could get a commission or an affiliate marketing opportunity or a network marketing opportunity, or just starting a whole business so that you can have more money coming in through sales. But if you don't know the number, if you don't understand the financial number, if you don't see it and do the math on it, you're probably not going to move forward and do anything different. That's why a lot of people get paralyzed and they're crippled, because they don't have a financial plan. Now, what is your long-term financial plan? You got to decide that. Like, how long are you going to be working? And when do you plan on no longer working like you're working now? Do you plan on retiring? If you do, you need to do the math on your financial plan. Where do you want to be in 3 years? How, in terms of money? Where do you want to be financially in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? Let's say if you say, well, I want to be a millionaire in 10 years. Okay, well, how much money do you need to make to live off and put aside to invest so that in 10 years you can be a millionaire? You got to play with these numbers. So financial planning is going to give you that muscle, that discipline to start playing with numbers. I don't think a day goes by that I don't use my calculator. Every day I'm using my calculator because I'm always doing the math. I'm always thinking about my financial plans, whether it's a short-term financial plan, whether it's a 3-month financial plan, whether it's a 13-year financial plan. I'm always doing the math because I want to know where I'm at and what I need to do, because based on the number that my financial plans come up with, that determines how much time and energy and education and training and networking and investing that I have to put in. So you around here with $1 million financial plan and you're investing no money in your education, no time in your training, and you're not even getting around people to help push you, it's not going to happen. So your faith and your dreams and your ideas about living this life, they all have to be supported and complemented with a plan that can be executed with action and effort with your time. Okay, so that's first component. Second component is income and expense tracking. So now you got to get good at tracking your income and expenses. I know a lot of entrepreneurs that are horrible at this. Like, you cannot operate a business and you don't track your income and expenses. You should be able to know, like, if you go and speak to my executive administrator, who really does an extraordinary job with our payments, with our accounting, she does a whole lot of things. My personal assistant does a lot of things. My wife does a lot of things. I got a team. They do a whole lot to keep this thing going. And we're still growing and grinding and scrapping every day like we just started. But I'm bringing that up is because they know where we are financially. Like, they could see it on the graphs. If you walk in our office and we got screens and monitors on, you could see the graphs like, okay, where are we off? Where are we financially in light of our goal? they can quantify it, because I want everybody to know the math behind where we are and where we need to get. Because as long as you see them numbers, you're going to know. In other words, we're tracking our income and expenses. So even though we don't have graphs just showing necessarily showing our expenses, but we have graphs showing sales. And the people who are working with our financial department, with our QuickBooks and with our accountant and with our CPAs and all those people, right, that we have that help us make sure those numbers are right, they help me understand and track what my income is and what my expenses are. Because every day I want to know how much I got coming in, how much I got going out. I want to know that number, because that helps me to know how hard I need to go and when I need to make an adjustment. You can't wait to track your income and expenses when it's time to do your taxes. Now you around here scrambling around. Or you can't wait to track your income and expenses when you find out you behind on bills and you ain't got no money in the bank account. You can't operate a business like that. You got to learn these things. And here's the truth. If you're not a business owner, you can't live your life that way. You can't wake up every day and go to work and you're not tracking your income and expenses because you ain't got no financial plan. And then you wake up one day and you're like, oh Lord, I'm $400 short. Oh Lord, I need $275. It's because you don't have a plan and you're not tracking it, because when things are good, that's when you go hard and you start stacking, you start storing, you start preserving, you start moving some reserves so that you can continue to keep the momentum, so that when things may not be so good, you have a cushion, you have a buffer to hold you until things become good again and even great again. Or you may not even experience the bad or even miss something because you had so much going on when it was really good, because you were tracking it. You got to learn to track your income and expenses. That's a component. The third component is taxes. So I have a lot of courses in my Millionaire Blueprint that I teach on creative tax strategies, meaning that I like to show people how you're supposed to stay on top of your pre-tax revenue, so that you will know what your potential tax liabilities will be in the event that you did your taxes. So some experts refer to this as forecasting. So you can hire a CPA to help you with it. Hopefully your CPA understands like forecasting and tax strategies, so that they can help you not only track your income and expenses, but help you mitigate or even minimize your potential tax liability, because they're keeping you up on top of what you need to do. But here's the thing, what you're going to learn, if you haven't learned already, no tax expert is going to run your company. So you can think, oh, I'm going to just go to a tax person, I'm going to send them my paperwork, I'm going to give them access to my QuickBooks, they going to flesh it all out, and they going to tell me I don't owe no taxes. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. I'm telling you, it don't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Here's how it works. If you want a tax professional, an expert, someone who does these sophisticated things in taxes, to work with you throughout the year, maybe on a quarterly basis, what you're going to have to do most likely is you're going to have to pay for that. And in most cases, they're going to want you to pay a retainer on an ongoing basis, so that you can have them on speed dial. So again, it's going to cost you money, and it's going to cost you time and effort, because they're not going to fix all your problems. They may help you configure your accounting system so that it can be simple. They may change some of the wording and language that you might be using or that you didn't know to use, but for the most part, they're adhering to laws. They're operating by the law, and a lot of them are going to be exactly by the book. They're not moving out of that book and that box because they're not running your business. They don't understand a lot of the details that you're doing and dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And you can't assume that you could just give somebody access to your QuickBooks account and they're going to just go in there and like fix it. It don't work like that. So that means you need to be educated enough to know what you're doing as an entrepreneur or as a W-2 employee with your taxes. So if you're a W-2 employee, there are still things that you can do to lower your tax liability. If you're a 1099 or a business owner, there are things that you can do to lower your tax liability. This is one of the reasons why we use concepts like the holding company, so that you can start taking some of that pre-tax revenue, investing it, reallocating it into things that might be non-taxable events or may be taxable events, or perhaps they're just expenses, but you're using these expenses to build your business out and to do more within the ecosystem of your business. So you got to familiarize yourself with the basics of taxes and the categories for tax purposes, because all money ain't taxed the same. You get what I'm saying? Like, all money ain't taxed the same. So you could be making money from 3 or 4 different ways, and in your mind, you like, oh, this residual income. Well, it might not be categorized as residual income for tax purposes. And all you got to do is talk to a tax expert, and they'll tell you these things. I'm not a tax expert. I'm not a CPA. You got to talk to your own. But what I'm telling you, and what I'm sharing with you, is from my own experiences, and I paid a lot of money to get the right people in my life and to work with me to help me understand some of the principles and practices that I'm sharing with you. So taxes is the third component of accounting. Banking is another component. See, I personally think that people have the wrong idea about banking. People have the wrong idea about banking, because most of the entrepreneurs that I talk with, when they bring up banking, all they're thinking about is, man, I need some funding. I need a loan. I need a credit line. I need this, that, then the other. Well, maybe you do. But more importantly, you need a financial plan, because it doesn't matter how much money you get from a bank, especially when you're starting your business. That money ain't gonna last forever. And that money is not going to guarantee you make new sales. It just doesn't work like that. So a lot of entrepreneurs, they think, well, if a bank give me a loan, then I can build my business and get my business off the ground. But it don't mean your business is going to stay off the ground if you don't have products and services that can actually sell. So sometimes it's better to put a financial plan together, build that plan into your business, quantify that financial plan, meaning that you do the math on how much money you need and how much you want, and figure out how many products and services you need to sell in order to hit that financial target, and let your business sales become the bank for your business. But banking in general is, of course, about you being able to track and monitor all your business exchanges. That's one of the basic purposes of having a bank account, so that you can track and monitor your financial transactions. Like, you don't want an all cash business. And even if you have a cash business, you want to be able to make those deposits so that you can show on a bank statement that you've had these transactions, and so that you can know what income is taxable. You don't want to play those kind of games. I'm telling you, man, it's just not even worth playing those games. Nobody want to be waking up every day feeling bad and worried and concerned about, man, do I owe taxes? Am I not? Am I scheming and scamming? No, you want to track all your income and expenses, and you want to run it through your bank so that you can know what money that I had coming in is considered taxable income, what isn't, and what my expenses are, and what is left, and what do I need to write off and use deductions for, so that I can lower that tax bill. It's simple, but it's not simple, because the hard part for most people is getting educated on what I'm telling you about, getting trained on this, and then getting disciplined to use it every day. That's the hard part. So the principle is not hard. The practice is hard, because you got to learn it, you got to get educated on it and trained on it, and then you got to get disciplined to use it every day. The fifth component of accounting for entrepreneurs is risk management. Risk management. So I could stay on here all day. Like I don't even know. I'm not even gonna have time to talk about everything, but let me just share with you the importance of risk management in your business. Risk management is basically strategies that you're using, practices that you're implementing in your business to mitigate or minimize your risk. That's what risk management is. Risk management is more of a sophisticated, term to basically say, I got to do some things in my finances and in my business to safeguard my success. Okay? That's risk management. So one key risk management principle and practice is having insurance. Okay? Having personal insurance like health insurance, having life insurance, having business insurance. Like that's the basic key for risk management, making sure that you have insurance. Okay? Now, a lot of entrepreneurs, because I've been that entrepreneur. So again, anything I'm telling you, guess what? Don't look at me as, oh man, oh yeah, he good now. He the billionaire mogul. He got money. His business is succeeding and blah 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 blah. And he out of touch with us. No, I ain't. No, I'm not. I know what it is to be an entrepreneur and have none of these things working in my business or my life. I know what it is to be doing business and not even have any financial systems, sales systems, marketing systems, operational systems. I know what it is. I started as a hustler, just scrapping, trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Just making $80 here, $20 there, getting paid here, getting paid there, just trying to make money, getting $45 to change a toilet or something. So I know what it is. But at a certain point, you got to grow up, you got to mature, and you got to take your business/legacy serious. And when you do that, now you understand I got to learn these things because this is the work that I do as an entrepreneur who wants to be a successful business owner. So one major key for your risk management is, and this is whether you got a business or not, having insurance. Of course, there was a time I didn't have health insurance. There was a time I didn't have life insurance. There was a time I didn't have any insurance on my business or any of the practices that I did in my business because there are different types of insurance. But guess what? Once I started getting educated on these things and had a different awareness on how important these things were, I realized that I was putting myself and I was putting my family at what? At risk. Because God forbid, I'm so thankful that nothing major happened, but God forbid if anything happened to me, if anything substantial happened to my health, my wife and my children and the people who depend on me would be in trouble because I did not factor in risk management to my accounting. That's why risk management is a component of accounting, because you got to think about, okay, I need health insurance. So if you're saying, well, I ain't making enough money, well, this is why you got to do the math. Your financial plan needs to include how much money you need and how much money you want. So when you do your financial planning, let's say for the year, you got to add health insurance to that. So how much health insurance how much am I going to pay on health insurance? Well, I may pay $700 a month. Okay, I got to add that number. That's an expense. Even if I can't afford it, I need to know what it is. I need life insurance. I need business insurance. There may be different types of insurance. You need to add all that up. So if all your insurances total, let's say if it's $1,200 or $1,300 a month just for you, or maybe for you and your spouse it's $1,800, you still need to add that to your expense column. So you know, because what happens is you go out there and you do business and you make a sale and you make $1,500 and you thinking, oh, I just made $1,500. No, you didn't. You didn't really make $1,500 because your expenses don't even include your risk management. And another key of risk management is financial insurance. Financial insurance. What do you mean by financial insurance? What I mean by financial insurance is you making more money than you spending, and you putting a little money up on the side over here. You're storing it. That's financial insurance. That's financial insurance. So I'm going to always make sure I got a certain amount of free cash reserves set aside. Why? Because that's one of the keys of my risk management. I have a staff. First of all, I got a family and a household I got to take care of. Number two, I got a staff. I can't be coming in here every week or every 2 weeks and telling my staff, now y'all know I ain't gonna be able to pay you today. You know I love you though, but if you could just hold this check, I'm a post date. There ain't nobody finna be dealing with nobody like that, because I ain't finna be working for nobody who telling me I can't pay you because we short. Right now I gotta wait till we get these 3 clients to pay. No, that's not how you do business. That's not integrity. That's not the way you're going to succeed. You have to do things the right way. So risk management is important. Number 6 is investing. Investing is the 6th component of accounting. Why? Because you have to, once you start storing money, you have to start thinking about how can I use this money to get further down the road. Okay? A lot of entrepreneurs don't even understand that when you invest in like a coach, when you invest in educational programs, when you invest in having consultants that may be on a retainer and lawyers and experts that you have, when you invest in even getting in the right rooms, all of those things are investments that move you further down that road to more success. So some of that money you're storing needs to be put back into you and back into your business. You shouldn't be taking every dollar out of your business and you're bringing all your money over here to Bitcoin or to Amazon stock or to crypto or to NFTs. No, that money needs to be recycled first within your ecosystem, in you, and then in your business. That's where the money should be, because the return over here in your business is endless when you do it the right way. And last but not least, the 7th component of accounting is retirement. Now, when I say retirement, I'm not talking about a time. I ain't talking about you gonna retire when you 55, or you gonna retire when you 80, or you gonna retire when you 32. When I say retirement, I'm talking about, here's a better word for retirement. A better word for retirement is exit. Because you can be in a certain role in your business and retire from that role. Okay, you understand that? You could be in a certain role in your business and you can actually retire or exit from that role. And then when you exit or retire from that role, someone else can take that and you can keep that exit going. So retirement is really not about you not working no more. It's about you exiting certain roles to give other people opportunities to fulfill those roles and give you opportunities to do the things that you probably really, really want to do, but you couldn't do while you were in your working years in that role. But these are the things that you have to take into account, which is why I consider them to be my 7 components of accounting, particularly for entrepreneurs. So all you, every one of you, you're watching me right now, you're an entrepreneur. You got to familiarize yourself with at least those 7 components of accounting, and you have to put yourself in a position to not just learn these principles, but put these practices to work with a lot of effort and discipline so that you can see the results of these principles show up. You cannot hire somebody and think, you can't hire somebody and think that you hiring them is going to fix all your problems. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. So many entrepreneurs I know, they find themselves in a lot of trouble because they think an accountant is going to fix their accounting issues. It don't work like that. I'm going to hire a CFO. They're going to fix it. It ain't gonna work like that. I'm gonna hire a bookkeeper. She gonna fix it. It ain't gonna work like that. I'm gonna hire an assistant and I'm gonna give them all this trash and tell them to figure it out for me. It ain't gonna work like that. And most likely, if you tried any of those things, you know it hadn't worked. You know why? Because nobody's gonna run your business and the accounting for your business. Nobody's gonna run your financial life. Your own personal financial life, ain't nobody gonna run it. And even if you went to a financial planner, they can't be you every day. They can only give you principles and assist you in certain practices that you still have to implement and execute. So again, I want you to take me up on this free offer. That's all I'm offering you today. A free offer to join me this Saturday for 4 hours while I host a Millionaire Mastermind. I'm gonna be teaching financial principles, accounting principles, principles on business and entrepreneurship. I'm gonna be showing you how to start and structure your holding company, how to position yourself in the market with your holding company. I'm gonna be talking to you about setting the right goals, the right financial targets. I'm gonna be talking to you about the things that you need to incorporate into your life with your structure, with your systems, with your processes. And I'm going to be answering all your questions. We're going to have some interactive breakouts to give you time to work these principles into your business and into your life, and it's absolutely free. All you have to do is go to Ramonepreston.com/event. That's all you need to do. Go to Ramonepreston.com/event. All right? Ramonepreston.com/event. This is where you will see an RSVP to my free Millionaire Mastermind. So you want to be a millionaire? Well, you're going to have to learn the millionaire way, because there ain't no way you're going to be a millionaire and you still thinking like a thousandaire and you still operating with $10,000 or $100,000 information. For years, that's what I did. I operated with a certain level of information and never could break through a financial barrier. So I've gone from 0 figures, minus, negative, all the way up. And I know how difficult it is to go through those numbers. So I want to share with you the principles I have. All you have to do is go to Ramonepreston.com/event, RSVP for free. And be ready, come prepared. I have a handout, I have a workbook that I'm going to be giving you. It's an interactive workbook. Even if you're virtual, we'll still give you access to that workbook. You can download it, print it out, and you can actually follow along with me for this 4-hour event. Thank all of you for joining the show today. Please give me your biggest takeaway. Put the biggest takeaway you took away from today's show. Please put it in the comments. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was. I know I covered a lot. I mean, I gave you 7 principles, 7 components of accounting. But just let me know what your biggest takeaway was today. And please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube page. Invite others to subscribe to my page. I'm working on getting to 10,000. My team and I were working on getting to 10,000. And we need your subscriptions. We need your support. We need your help. James, Mr. Forbes, what's up, my friend? He says, your business wisdom is my secret weapon. There will never be another coaching call on Mondays that I don't ask you at least one question. Every time I think I know where you are at, you level up. Come on, man. Come on, man. I love it. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So I love all of you. Appreciate all of you. We're here for you. If there's anything we can do to help you, any questions that you have, feel free to reach out to me here at 404-478-7213. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Otherwise, please RSVP for our mastermind that's coming up this Saturday, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Appreciate you for joining the show today. We'll be back here tomorrow, same place, same time, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, right here on the remote.